I want to thank you all for being here this afternoon, both of you. You know, there's two kinds of magicians. There's good magicians and there's lousy magicians. I'm kind of a combination. I'm good and lousy. Now for my first trick, my first trick isn't any good, so I'm going to start off with my second trick. I've always found that it's a good idea when you go to a magic show, to do a magic show, you should bring your lunch because you never know when you're going to get to eat. You know, you get pretty long-winded sometimes. And I've always liked hot dogs myself, so I generally take hot dogs. I did this trip before President Reagan, you know, was elected. But anyway, this gets kind of boring after all, so we'll get on with trick number 2. This is what they call one of those Rubik's Cubes. I don't know whether you've ever seen a Rubik's Cube or not. You could zoom in on it if you want to and show all the different colors there. I've had trouble trying to get this thing to work, you know, trying to make this thing work. No matter how I turn it, I just don't, I get all kinds of different colors. Never could get the thing to come out just right. So I thought, well, maybe we could use a little magic. So here we go, a little bit of magic, and the cube is completely soft. Thank you kindly. Both of you.
That's good. I like that.
This next thing is kind of a little Chinese puzzle. You have here two sticks, and 2 cords. The idea is you pull down on this cord and the other cord goes up. Now on the other hand, that's pretty good. Okay, you pull down on this cord and that cord goes up. In other words, everything's on the up and up. It is until you find you can separate the stick like this and still pull down on this one and cause the other one to go up. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times when I'm doing this trick, the audience gets the idea that the string runs down through here, across the bottom and up there.
Yeah.
But you being a wide awake and intelligent, I know would scoff at the very thought. Pardon me for scoffing. You of course realize that this string has nothing at all to do with the other string, and in the same manner, this string runs through and then slows down to a walk. But even that doesn't convince a lot of people. Sometimes they have to separate the sticks like this. But even with them separated, you can still pull down on one and the other one goes up. Just one of those things, whenever you pull down on one, the other one goes up. And well, once in a while, we get them both down at the same time. There's only one thing you can do if that happens, and that's to draw an invisible line from this stick over to that stick. And you see the line back there? The same old line. You get a hold of it in the middle and you say the magic words, "Ups-a-daisy," and you're right back where you started from.
Great, I like that.
Yeah, we're ready. Now we're got a little trick here with a magic bag. You notice when the inside's out, the outside's in. And when the outside's in, the inside's out. This is the magic bag. When you say cluck, 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 you reach down into the bag, you can get an egg. Isn't that wonderful?
Ah.
Now you can also put the egg back into the bag like this. Bring your hand, snap your fingers, and the egg will instantly vanish. As you can see, it isn't in my hand.
Look at that.
But you can even fold the bag perfectly flat like this. No egg. But if you say the magic words cluck, 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 you reach down into the bag, and once again there's the egg. Now, I think everyone ought to know how to perform a few tricks. So tonight I've chosen this trick to teach you how it's done. Because if you know how to do a trick, or you get invited to parties, banquets, you get asked out a lot. I was asked out of 3 places last week. So, in other words, what you do here, you put the egg down into the bag, and when you bring your hand out, you actually bring the egg out with it. Keep these 2 fingers down to fool the folks. Understand that?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
And we put the egg down into the bag like this, and you bring the hand out, keep those 2 fingers down. Because that's what fools the folks, you see. Because the egg has completely vanished. Perfectly flat.
What about?
Yet to bring it back, we simply say the magic words, cluck, cluck, cluck. We reach into the bag and there's the egg. Put the egg down into the bag like this. If you want to, you can pull up your sleeves. See? And then you can show your hands empty, and you can turn the bag wrong side out, and are you paying attention back there? And you can find then that the egg has returned. Is that clear? I know.
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I have a chicken in the bag. It lays the egg whenever I want it. Let me show him to you. There he is. Right. And now for our next biggie. I would like you to examine this block of wood, a solid block of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Hole through it,
Mm-hmm.
and a cord, which you can stretch. See that there's no breaks in it. This is a solid cord.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do here is to thread this cord onto the rope so that it cannot possibly come off. I'm going to even loop it on there. Now I think I'm going to need some help up here from one of the gentlemen back. Would you, sir, stand up here? Right here, if you will.
Me?
Mr. Bonnell.
Yes, sir.
Hold on to that really good. And one more person over here to hold on to this one. Now kind of wrap them around your hand so that you got a real good grip on it, because I'm going to need it. I'm going to pull a little bit. That's good. Now what we're going to do, you have to find first. You got a good grip on that. There's a soft place in there. Someplace on every rope there's a little soft place. If I can find it here, we're going to. I think this is a good soft place right there. Yeah, that's it. And you can examine that, and you can examine that.
It doesn't even cut.
That's right.
Right.
Isn't that
good.
a wonderful
Yeah,
thing?
wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Oh,
That's
great,
wonderful.
great. I like that. That's beautiful.
You're not being paid to say that. Okay, this is 4 cards. We use an ace, a 2, a 3, and a 4. 4 cards. Funny thing happens when I turn the 4 face
the
down.
backs are blue too, aren't they?
Yeah, the back. Yeah, it's just a little shape like this, and we find that the blue-backed ace is turned face up. And we're going to do this again. We give them another little shake like this, and we find that the blue-backed 2 of clubs is turned face up. Isn't this wonderful? I'm going to do that again. 3 times. Notice the backs are all blue there, and the 3 has turned face up. Now, funny thing, even funnier thing happens if we turn the 4 face up. Because if we do that, we find that all 4 of the cards turn face up at one time. I know you're wondering how I did that trick. I've got to confess to you, it's done with marked cards.
It is?
Yeah, you see, the ace there, the red-backed ace is marked with an A for an ace. Incidentally, I believe that back has changed color, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And the 2, of course, is marked with a big 2, as you can see there. And the 3 marked with a big 3, and the 4 with a big 4. And that's how we do that trick. Now, you understand that?
Yeah, yeah. But how did they all go from blue
You know,
to
that's
red?
been worrying me too. Let me try something else on you. I want you, if you will, to take out any 10 cards. Any 10, all together, or just make sure that you have 10. Ten cards there. You think you got 10?
Not yet.
Now why don't you count them into his hand? Make sure that you have 10.
Only 8.
1, 8. Try to take 2 more. Count them into Bob's hand. Make sure you got
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now, Bob, if you will, I'd like you to think of 1 card there. Let's see. Perhaps you better take it out because I don't want you each to.
Okay.
Okay. Think of any card, or take 1 card out.
Yeah.
Take 2 cards out. You can remember. Can you remember 2 cards?
I might have the
Take
capability
out
of
2.
remembering 2 cards.
That's easy to remember. And give the packet to Wally and let no, not the cards. Those and then Wally, you look at a card there and remember it. Okay. Now you put your cards with his, and Wally, you mix them up.
You got a card picked out also.
Right.
Now you have a card and you have 2
Yeah.
cards, right? Shuffle them up real good so that even you don't know where your cards are. That's enough. Be careful you don't mix them, okay? You're going to remember your cards.
I know my
Huh?
1. I only have 1.
That's right. You had one.
Just
I-
kidding. He had what?
You had one. And
Oh, you had one, and you had two. That's right. I can't remember. Let's see. I'm going to let you be custodian of envelope number 1.
Thank you.
And we're going to have another envelope in this trick. And I want 10 more cards. Deal off 10 more cards into my hand here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 cards. And I want you to be custodian of these 10 cards, if you will. You hold those. Now here's what we're going to do. This is the trick. I'm going to cause 3 cards to pass one at a time from envelope number 1 into envelope number 2 while you each are holding tightly onto the envelopes. Good trick, huh? You know,
Very
almost
good.
impossible.
Impossible.
Here goes card number 1. Here's card number 1. Watch your card number 2. Hard to see these, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
I felt it go in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does your envelope feel a little heavier?
I believe it does.
You should be a little lighter. And there. Now, if what I said is true, you should have, since you started with 10, you should now have 7 cards. Is that true?
I would say that.
I'd say it's true. You want to tear the envelope open and count them into my hand, please. Throw the old envelope away there. 1,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards here. Then, if what we say is true, you should have 10 plus 3 or 13 cards. You want to count your cards into this hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11, 12, 13. You hold on to
amazing.
these. 13 cards here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you, sir, name the cards that you selected?
I had the 8 of hearts and the 3 of clubs.
Wouldn't it be a wonderful trick if the 3 cards that passed were the 3 that you two looked at?
Mm-hmm.
You had the 8 of hearts,
Right.
the 8 of hearts, and the 3 of clubs.
3 of clubs.
3 of clubs. And what were the cards you looked at, sir?
I had one card, 8 of clubs.
8 of clubs. And there is your 8 of clubs. Now, if you'll look through there, I believe the other packet, I think you'll find that they're no longer in that group.
That's
Is that
right.
correct?
They're not in here.
All right. Thank you very kindly. Just throw those away.
Thank you, sir.
Well, now for you children in the audience. Wally. You know, these cards represent the stoplights, or the traffic lights. Green for go, red for stop, and yellow for caution. What we're going to do is place these 3 cards in the folder here, and we're going to test your ability to recognize the colors quickly. As I pull them out, I want you to say as quickly as you can the color of the light. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
Red.
Ooh, that's pretty fast. I think, though, you can do a little bit better than that. Let's try one more time here. Here we go.
Green.
Green. Got it. That's great. Now, if you are an observing person, you should be able to tell me the color that's still left in here. Have you been watching?
Yellow.
What color is left?
Yellow.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're wrong.
Turn it over. Let's
beg
see
your
the
pardon?
other side. Let's see the other side.
Yeah.
Afraid you to
let's-
say that. They're wrong. Oh, they're miracles. They get better all the time. Okay, now we come to the scientific part of the program. We're going to prove that it's possible for one solid object to pass through another. Science tells us that this is impossible, and I'm not a scientist, so I do it anyway. Notice we have here a cylinder with a hole in the back and a hole in the front. That's so you can tell what goes in and what goes out. And a solid block of wood, which just fits into the cylinder, as you can see. In addition to that, we use a sheet of plate glass, which we'll place on top, and cylinder number 2 on top of that, making sort of a glass sandwich. Now I'm going to drop the block, and you will see the block as it passes the first hole. You'll hear it hit the glass. And then if you watch the bottom hole, you should see it come out the other side. What? There it goes. Mercy, I almost dropped it. Notice that the glass is still in place.
Right.
Top cylinder is
Amazing.
empty. The glass is unbroken. There it is.
Hooray! Very good. I like
trick was, oh no, let's do this one here. There once was a rabbit. His color was black, and everyone called him a fraidy cat. This is his home where he lived all alone. Just 3 more payments, and he could call it his own. It had a front door and back door, and stood quite tall, and had only one room that was very small. Now, you've heard of folks' hair turning white with fright? Well, that's what happened to this hare one night. It was all because someone said, "Boo! Let's open the door and show him to you." And there he is, just as white as a sheet from the top of his head to the tip of his feet. Now, there's only one thing that will make things right, and that is to remove his awful fright. So, if you'll all say "oob," you'll see. When I count 3, it will change into black, as you will see. Because boo spelled backwards is oob. And so I'll count 3 and away we go. Now everyone say oob and I count 3. 1, 2, 3, oob. There he is. And there he is, just as black as before. See that?
What about the other side?
I know that's the end of the trick. There ain't no more. All right. Now, this next trick was invented by the world's greatest magician. And after I invented it, I'm performing it for the American Legion post. They liked it so well they staged a parade for me. They all got up and marched out, you know.
Nice
Parade. But I don't mind when people walk out on that. It's when they start walking towards me that I worry. We're going to use this piece of paper here, which I'll fold up and roll up into it, and secure it with a little rubber band there. Now, lifesavers have been known for some time that they color your mouth when you eat them, but very few people know that lifesavers also color your breath. I don't know whether you knew this or not, but yeah, that's a fact, and we're going to try a little experiment based on that. Lifesavers, we're going to touch our tongue to the red there, you see, and that should color my breath. Makes it possible to blow out a red silk out of there.
Both sides?
Now let's say, yeah, yes, indubitably. Now, let's try another flavor here. Let's try maybe, I got some yellow here. Wonder where the yellow went. You heard that. Put that in, touch my yellow. That's kind of a lemon flavor there. And once again, blue,
Gray,
yellow silk. And let's try one more here. This time we got some green. Green, you know, is a chlorophyll mint. I once knew a guy who spent $3,000 to cure his halitosis, and he found out later no one liked him anyway. Anyway, a little bit of green on there. And here is another green silk.
both sides?
Both sides. Now I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that once again, but we've run out of colors here. So what I'm going to have to do is to use a little bit of each. Put this in here. And maybe let's try a little bit of red for that one. A little bit of yellow. Just a tasty trick. A little bit of green. Let's see what happens. And there we have it. A silk, red, yellow, and green. And I know what you're thinking now. You're wondering about the... Let's see, let me show you. How about that?
How about
The applause is deafening.
More!
Okay.
Not again?
Yeah. I have here, I'd like to introduce to you this time, Joanne the mind-reading duck. Now, Joanne does a card trick, which she'd like to show you. And which is very unusual because that a duck does a card trick because, according to a recent survey, ducks don't even play cards. Did you know that?
No.
We're going to have 3 cards selected here. I'm going to turn Joanne around so she can't see what the cards are. And you take a card. And Bob, if you will, take a couple cards out there. Now, look at your cards. Remember what your cards are. And Bob, if you will, place your cards back in there. That's the third one. And yours. Now, you remember your cards?
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, Joanne's going to find your cards here. Let's put them right up here like this. Now, you remember your card that you selected, sir?
Yes.
Look Joanne in the eye, name your card. She's going to try to pick it out. Think you can do this, Joanne? She says yes.
5 of spades.
5 of spades. And let's see, wait, I think maybe we're starting at the wrong end here. What was the one you selected, Bob? I think I got them messed up here. Did you have the Jack of... I got these messed up. Oh, there it is, the Jack of Hearts. Okay, one more. Just name that a second card. Joanne's going to get...
6 of diamonds.
The 6 of diamonds. Isn't that wonderful? It's 6 of diamonds.
Yay.
I see a skepticism in your face. You're saying,
5 of...
well, that's very easy because she's looking at the cards.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to blindfold Joanne so that she can't. We're going to put a little blindfold on Joanne so she can't see anything. And then she's going to try to pick out your card while blindfolded. And to make it even tougher, she's going to pick, I don't even want you to name the card, just think of it. Think of the card. You got it, Joanne. She's got it. Concentrate. Here we go. Joanne, I believe, has the card that you were just thinking of. What was it?
5 of spades.
The 5 of spades. And there it is.
Right.
Oh, take a bow there, Joanne. That's the girl. All right. Moving on here now. Little cramped quarters here. Here's a trick that you can try when you get home tonight. All you need is a sheet of newspaper and a destructive nature. What I'm going to do is tear it like this. Now, from where you're sitting, that looks like I actually tore that, but just an optical illusion. See if we can tear it one more time. Tear here on that average.
Too tough for you, huh?
This is getting a little tough. This here chorus girls escape in pajamas. 8 husbands missing. Did you? It's pretty tough to tear about this time. If I succeed in tearing another time, I'll probably get my picture in physical culture. There you go. There you have it. Just like little giant confetti. Just the sort of thing to use at your next wedding when you run out of puffed rice. Then you're all set to work a miracle that would worry a witch or confuse Confucius. And if you don't believe me, there you are. And where are you?
To your hand there. Oh.
Fair enough. And now I would like to show you, in conclusion, one of the oldest tricks of magic. Notice the Chinese ring mystery. This thing is probably over 300 years old.
And silky is too.
What I'm going to do here is to pass these rings for examination. There's 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as each ring is examined, I'll remove it from this arm, put it on this arm, so that you can keep track of which one you've looked at and which ones you haven't seen. Would you like to look at one here, Sport, in the back there, in a cheap seat? Look that over, examine it. While you're looking at those rings, I'll show you what you do with 2 of them while you look at some under, you know, how that links there. You want to take that? I'll take this one from you. Did you examine this one?
Yeah.
Did you examine yours? Yeah. Let me do it again with the rings that have just been examined and handed back to me. Now watch closely. See that? Now to take them apart, of course, is you just pull them through like that. Okay? Let me see this one here. Did you get those apart for me? Did you get those apart? You notice those rings aren't actually linked together. It's just too small to pass through. It's kind of a stirrup like, doesn't it? Look like a stirrup to you? Do that and we get a little chain of 3 there. Once again, to take them apart, we just put them through like that. Now I'd like to attempt the most difficult part of the Chinese ring trick, and that is to link 3 rings together while in midair. Watch. And there we go. 3 rings together in midair. Hey, boy.
Hey.
One ring yet you haven't looked at. You better look at that one. That's enough. Oh, that's okay. Look. Okay. Examine these. This is called the falling ring. 1, 2, 3, there we go. These rings are rings that you have examined each and every one, and there they are, all linked together.
Wow. Good.
When I can get out of this, we'll get out of this. And in conclusion, I would like to show you how magicians sew. I mean, the magicians have to sew once in a while their props up, and this is the way that they do it. See if we can sew this little thing here into this. Get it down in there. There we go. A little bit of a shake. And watch. Good night, and thank you.
Very good. Encore.
Have you been